Hey folks, welcome back to another tying video. Been a little while here, so I'm going to try and bang out a few videos tonight and get you guys some stuff to tie. Ice off's coming. Check out the Instagram page if you haven't. Doing lots of live stream tying over there, so you can always pick up a few patterns that way. But we'll go ahead and get started here. I've got a size 13 Alec Jackson covert nymph hook, and that is equivalent to a size 14 Daiichi 1760. So it's a 2X curved nymph hook. And I'm tying with fluorescent green UTC 70. This fly is called the Double D, and it's a dubbed damsel pattern. So pretty simple imitation, good profile, movement, and uses some buggy dubbing that I quite like. So I've got my thread tied in. I'm just going to grab, this is a small size bead chain eyes, and these are gold. I think my preference is probably the black. I've been tying a ton of these lately, and I was all out of the black ones, so I'm using gold here, and I don't doubt each will have their days, but if you had to ask me, I'd prefer the black. So I did a bunch of cross wraps there, and now I'm just going around to gather those wraps together. And then just for durability, if you just hit your thread wraps on those eyes with a shot of crazy glue, that'll make for a much more durable pattern. And if you get a gob of goo in there, just come up and throw a wrap in and you'll be good to go. So now I've got some, this is fluorescent green marabou. So marabou basically to match the thread in the dubbing, and you don't need a ton of it, just an inch or so off the stem. You want to keep the body fairly slim on this fly, but you also need a wee bit of movement in the tail, of course. So find your happy medium there. This is the real fluffy type feather, as you can probably see. So it compacts down fairly nice. So I just trim it before I tie it in, and then grab it right behind the eyes, and with nice snug wraps, we'll just take that down the shank just to the bend, and then throw one wrap in behind, pinch that tail to length, and we've got that going. Now I've got some small chartreuse ultra wire. So rather than going back up, I want to keep this body slim. So I left my thread down at the back and then just captured that wire. And then you can see when I tied in that marabou, it's a little bit thicker up here and kind of naturally tapers a little bit. So you just want to kind of keep that taper going. So I'll build that just a touch up at the top here, and then bring my thread to the back. And here comes the good stuff. This is some leech dub from Chinook Wind Outfitters. This is the Sunshine collection, it's called. Kind of bright, funky colors. Probably steelhead guys will love it. But as far as like hot spots on nymphs, and it's got the wicked orange and the pink, and then this sherbet color, as they call it, does extremely well for this pattern. So it also, I mean, it's called leech dub, so the first thing you probably want to do is tie a leech, but as soon as I felt it, I thought about this thing. Used to tie this, a similar pattern with ice dub, and the ice dub's a little much, but this stuff you can see dubs into a super tight little rope and allows for a very thin body, and it's not always easy without like dry fly dub or something like that. It's hard to find any kind of dubbing like this. So yeah, just spin up a little bit of a taper to your body here, about like so. So not a crazy taper, but you can see we've got it going there. And finish off just behind the eyes. Leave a little bit of gap there. And then I'm just going to take this ultra wire and I'm going opposite the way I went with the dubbing. Going to stand out a little bit more that way, and we'll add durability too. So then I'm just going to tie off this wire with some wraps, and then we can twist this and just pop that out of there. All right, now I will grab 4 or 5 strands of, this is actually olive, but it does look quite chartreuse, so suits this pattern very well. Crystal flash. I like crystal flash for leg material. Not straight, it's really kind of buggy and gnarly looking. So I capture it on the one side, and then just going to gather these pieces together, pull that over, and then just lash it down on this side here. That guy doesn't want to play, so he can stay over there. And just make sure I've got those coming out kind of the way I want them. That looks pretty good. I'll pull them all back, and just like a quarter of the way up the body, I'll snip those off. And then they might be all over the place, but that's exactly what you want. So you can see that starting to take shape now. And then no fancy wing cases, no scud back, no this, no that, just some more dubbing. And I was asked, you know, how come I don't tie the eyes on the bottom? You're welcome to, but with this particular pattern, it has virtually the same profile, whether you fish it right side up or upside down. So this way, if it flips over, with the eyes being on top, you're less likely to hang up in the weeds, that kind of thing. So tying them on top doesn't hurt. If you prefer to tie them on the bottom, then by all means, give her. So once we get that head dubbed, and that head you just want a little bit bigger than the body, just so it kind of sticks out there, and then come straight into a whip finish. This fluorescent thread pops under the UV, so maybe a little bit of a hot spot up front there, and get rid of any stragglies. And that's about all there is to it. This guy doesn't want to play, so bye-bye. And there it is. So that's the dubbed damsel. Pretty cool little fly. Like I say, it's this is a good one rated ice off. If you find your dubbing looks too ropey on the head, if you just put your finger on it and just kind of go back and forth, it blends everything in nicely. But good profile, some movement, and perfect color for damsels. So that's the Double D. Let us know how it does for you. Tie it up. Like I say, it's a great one for ice off. Good one in late spring, early summer, when these things are on the move. So strip it, hang it, a bunch of different ways you can fish it, but definitely worth your time. So that's all I got for this one. Thanks very much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. And until the next one, cheers and tight lines.